Okay, men, we're doing a video right now on some popular cults. There's one to Mithras, one to Isis, one to the Eubakoi, and way more. So the ones that we're going to be concerned with today are Mithras. That's the only one. The one to Isis is the subject of a very cool Roman novel, but we're not going to talk about it. And the Eubakoi to Bacchus, some of the richer people in Rome are members of this cult, but again, not going to talk about it. The only one we're concerned with today is Mithras. Here is a temple of Mithras. This is called a Mithraeum, and in the temple we have a lot of things to talk about. First, those benches on the sides. That's where people sit. You could probably fit a dozen to 24 people in any of these temples, give or take some depending on how big they are. Second thing, they look like a cave. That is significant because, according to the myth, Mithras sacrificed a bull in a cave after overpowering it and riding it for some unknown amount of time. And then, according to the myth, he approached this guy called Sol Invictus, the unconquered sun, a god, and the god bowed to him. A boy, a youth, who had just been born out of a rock not long earlier. So a boy is born out of a rock, then overpowers a bull, rides the bull, sacrifices the bull, approaches Sol Invictus, the god, and the god bows to him. If this seems weird, it should. It has baffled scholars for a long time, and quite frankly, no one knows exactly what happened. That's just what we get from pictures. We don't have any texts that have explained to us why this happens. Details about how it happens, all we have are the pictures, and you're about to see a bunch of them in this video. This is, of course, the central scene of the cult, the one with the bull and the sacrifice. This is pretty much the equivalent of Jesus on the cross. You can't have a Mithras temple without Mithras slaying the bull. Likewise, you don't have much of a church without a crucifix. In fact, sometimes maybe you don't even have a real classroom without a crucifix. Food for thought. Anyway, here we have the altar. You make a little sacrifice on the altar. And then here's our fresco of Mithras slaying his bull. Some spectators, onlookers. Can't tell much about him. That's too poorly preserved, but this is a very, very moist place. Again, most of these are underground. Literally, they're literal caves, not just pretending to be caves. Benches over here, of course. Some deterioration we can see. Here's a different temple. We see the altar right here in the middle with Mithras on it. Doing, guess what? Slaying the bull. Once again. We see a couple of heads up here. We'll get to those soon. I think you can guess who one of the heads is. And then back here, we have another piece of iconography from the myth that we won't get into. But right here we have some damage. There's possibly a fresco that was there and that was hiding this figurine from us. And they haven't restored it, probably to show the figurine and what was behind it. Again, you go behind a church and you find some holy stuff. Tabernacle, holy cups, and Holy Communion, rather. Here's another fresco from yet another Mithraeum. Mithraeum, again, that's a temple of Mithras. I'm going to call it from Mithraeum. I'm going to call the temple of Mithras from Mithraeum going forward for clarity and conciseness. But here we can see some more stuff. Okay, here we see this guy. Ooh, he's pretty long. He's looking at this blood coming down from the bull. Here we see this guy, this little puppy, Mithras' pet dog. Looks like a little dachshund with a funny tail. And you can't see too much, but this is a scorpion down here biting the bull's testicles. Fun, fun, fun for this bull. And over here we have Mithras looking back. Who's he looking at? Ooh, is that a sunbeam I see? Who's that? If you guessed soul, you're correct. More sunbeams. And over here we have this woman with her hair in kind of a little bun thing going on. Can't really tell who she is yet. Sorry, not from this one. Here's our spectators and possibly other scenes from the myth on the sides. And one more Mithraeum. Don't worry, we still have a few more Mithraea to go. Oh, he's looking at Mithras again. Who's this? Sol Invictus? Yes. This, I don't know what this bird is. I think it's a raven or a crow coming for this soon-to-be dead bull, but don't quote me on it. I have no idea. This snake again we see down the bottom. We see the dog again looking for the blood. This angry woman down here, not sure who she is. But definitely another deity. Possibly something that starts with an H, and same thing down here, another deity. But these two are the important ones, especially this one. Over here, oh, look at that. We have another crucifix or relief of Mithras. This one made out of stone, possibly marble, probably granite. A little too gray to be marble. Down here, oh, we get a clear view of the scorpion biting the bull's testicles. That. Unfortunately, he's kneeling on this poor girl. No idea what she's doing. And the dogs come back again for that blood. Remember, dogs are carnivores. If you feed your dog raw meat, they will love you for it. Gets expensive, though. Over here, we see crowned again. Ding, 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 ding. 5 rays of the sun, so that's Sol Invictus. Over here, this unknown woman yet again. And here's another relief. Oh, here we go. Here's Sol with all his rays, his little birdie. This Mithras is wearing this this Eastern cap. This thing comes from Persia, probably. And over here we have the dog and the snake. Now this Persian cap, I want to point this out because this reminds us that Sol Invictus is really an Eastern religion that spreads west. So it's coming from Persia-ish area and towards Rome, and Romans are like, yes, we love this. The soldiers especially. Soldiers love Mithras. Definitely a lot of virtus involved in riding and sacrificing the bull by what looks to be just his own sheer strength. And over here we can talk about this lady. Now we see something interesting. These crescent moon things next to her head. That's not a halo. These are crescents, and it represents the moon. This is in Greek Selene or Selene, and in Latin Luna. Luni, Luna, all good. I'll stop. Here he's wearing his Eastern hat again. Over here we have the bird and Sol once more. Over here, scorpion pinching bull's testicles, and our 2 pets, lovely friends, coming over to lap up the blood. Oh, went too fast. You guys should know the drill at this point. You can probably, I'll leave you 5-6 seconds to name for yourself everything in here. The only new development we have in this one is very clear that he's picking the bull's nose. Alright, here's the next one. This one, some of the onlookers are named. Of course, you don't really have to name Sol Invictus over here. But over here, they're named in Greek. These are all capital letters in Greek, and here's an inscription down here that I don't have time to translate for you. If you're curious, you can come by after school. And once again, another scene from another perspective. This one's kind of cool because he hasn't killed the bull yet. I'm sure you can decide for yourself what's probably in that hand that fell out over time. And I think this is our last one. This one is very clearly been oxidized and has holes in it. So as far as material, I'll give you a couple seconds to think of what the material might be. It's bronze. This one's very, very clear. The two little crescents next to the moon, Luna. Over here, Sol with all his sun's rays and sun crown. Mithras wearing his cap, killing the bull, picking his nose. Snake trying to get the blood. Dog trying to get the blood. Scorpion biting his testicles. Bull testicles, not Mithras's. Okay. And all of this gives way to Constantine, whom we will talk about during class. Or we have already talked about during class, depending on when you listen to this video.